into some more best of 3 action today. Let's get this one started up. We do have pink cross player here. This is herO. Taking on aim at the top right. The teammate, of course, of herO is going to be KR, both part of DPG. Let's get into this and see what we can sink our teeth into as we get this up and running. So, CC coming up, Depot, Gateway all coming down, nothing really too out of the ordinary just yet in the early few minutes, so everything kind of as expected early, actually. I would say. I think that's a pretty fair statement. Yeah, CC coming along, Refinery coming up over on the side here. Let's get that up and online and if we can indeed make something of this. That's going to be having our kid and everything coming up here. Yeah, just going to be seeing what we do from here as well, who has been... I mean, herO and KR in general, I feel like generally players that can trade games with each other. herO, I'd say, is definitely a bit favored as of late. On a new patch, I really feel like herO is dangerous as well. Not just new patch, but new maps. To me, herO is someone that can absolutely, you know, innovate to extremes, you know? And in innovating to extremes, can really do very well for himself in great positions, put his opponents in very tricky positions. It's just, again, a question of, you know, I really feel like once we get to Katowice, we're going to see a lot more of that. Well, that's when we're really going to see, oh man, yeah, I was saving this build for this matchup in this kind of tournament, you know, so it's going to be fun. Honestly, Katowice is going to be great for that reason alone, I think. Really looking forward to it. Should be awesome. Hey, Burner44, 1 year resub. Whole year of Wardy StarCraft. Hell yeah, thank you so much for supporting. Really appreciate it, and yeah, thanks so much. I really do appreciate it. Again, if you guys enjoying the stream today, get started. You could, you know, 1 year from now, you could be like, whoa, 1 full year of Wardy, this was amazing. But you'll never get to 1 year if you don't start, so like I said, check out that Prime sub, see if you've got it available. Helps a whole bunch. Allows us to run a whole bunch of extra StarCraft 2 and stuff. We did just announce our full WardiTV 2023 series the other day. Basically what you can expect for the next year and a bit from WardiTV. Basically just a crap ton of tournaments and guaranteeing thousands upon thousands of dollars of prize money and stuff like that. If you want to check out more about that, you can !" 2023 in the chat, and we can all get excited about more StarCraft throughout this year. Yeah, do that if you would do so wish. But TLDR, there's going to be a bunch more StarCraft, and it happens because you guys are awesome and support it, and without you guys we wouldn't be able to do it. So, like I say, that's why we do the sellout bit, guys. That's why we do the OMG, you guys can Twitch Prime, you guys can give subs, blah blah blah. Because yeah, without all that, we can't do the StarCraft. Anyways, into these replays, and got a Reaper scouting around. Obviously, KR knows herO can be tricksy, and is just trying to make sure he's as well set up as possible to potentially deal with something like that. So, just trying to get set here initially. Making sure he's fully aware of what's going on, making sure there's no gold base as well. Obviously, definitely something else that herO could do. Well, just on the list of things when it comes to being tricksy, that feels like one of the things that herO is absolutely willing to do if he deems it necessary. So anytime there's a gold base on the map, you gotta keep a really good eye on herO, basically. Checky Dota, thank you so much for the 3-month resub on the Prime. Can't wait to get to a year. Can't get to a year without getting to 3 months first. Hell yeah. Stalker's here, going to be able to push a Reaper away. He's just going to be doing that. As we move on through, just going to have our bunker up at the front, so playing very safe, and herO is going to play into a little bit of Blink initially as well. It's just going to set up for that. We have a Raven on the way from KR. Really expecting this Raven to be something that we see a lot of the time, right? Without this Raven, I don't feel like we can really... I mean, the Raven's just so much more affordable nowadays. It just makes sense to just play it more often and to see it a lot more frequently. As you have the Widow Mine drop, again a couple of probes, so a bit of damage able to be done. And you've seen a Widow Mine cleaned up in the corner, though, doesn't get anything extra towards the end there. We're just going to have another medevac loading up and getting ready to play, so... Yeah, actually going to be, you know, keeping the aggression going here is QS, so keeping the drops up. Hallucination trying to spot this. herO's not being overly aggressive, right? Not being anything super crazy in that regard when you look at this. Pretty standard, I'd say. Seeing the hallucination fading back. So yeah, I mean, hero's just got his third base up. He's definitely playing something akin to a macro game here. Again, nothing really too wild or anything. And yeah, just a lot of things as expected right now. You got that Raven harass coming in, a couple more probes go down, so we're keeping that kind of damage going for the moment as well. Another auto turret going to fight a few of these stalkers. Now these stalkers going to be able to get rid of that auto turret. Let's see what else we can do from here. Couple medevacs on the way up. Marauder stim, combat shield +1. All of that still being brought through as well. Now, as charge gets up, we obviously see herO entering the stage of this game where he's going to be able to just play tons of gateway units and just attack everywhere, and that's one of the things that we know herO loves to do. It's one of the kind of styles that herO really brought back to the meta in a big way, not just in this matchup, but PvZ as well. I mean, it was always kind of a thing in this matchup, but PvZ not really quite so much, but yeah, herO kind of made it more of a thing, so... Yeah, it's just one of those to look out for. I'll tell you what's up, Lanchan. Thank you so much for the 26-month resub. Appreciate it. Yeah, excited to see how he'll activate here. He's got a Prism coming up, and he is set up into the Robo Base second facility, so he's looking for more than just Zealot Stalker eventually. Obviously, right now, he might just be waiting to catch an army of Cure and then just move out on the counterattack. That, too, is quite the possibilities. That is absolutely something that could happen. Just going to be seeing this drop going in the end, just going to target down a couple of probes pretty much. Not really going to be too wild at the end of the day. So that goes down. Just going to see it's a little bit bad trying to come through. Tank is going to be getting a shot or two off. We're seeing tanks continue to wail away onto a few of those stalkers. Some damage being done, damage being dealt here. In these early stages, getting all of this up and running. Just going to be seeing our Robo facility about to pop out a Disruptor. One Disruptor already coming the other way, aiming for a little bit of this bio, which is going to re-engage forward. So herO kind of getting pinned a little bit into the corner here. Zealots will start to charge through. A couple of Widow Mines will go off on these Zealots. These Zealots are going to get blown up quite nicely. Good start on the mines. The tank support from afar while we're going to see the Disruptor coming through. Doesn't really hit anything. Would have killed his own Disruptor if Disruptors could kill other Disruptors. Obviously they cannot. That is something built into the game. As we sim forward now, going to grab ourselves a Sentry, make it double, make it triple, and man, herO is just absolutely cleaving through this army of his opponent right now. This is going very well for him here. Doing a lot of damage, putting himself in a good place, and now these few Zealots trying to come through just to chase the last bit of that bio away, but really not doing a great job of it. As, yeah, the bio is able to stand strong so far, so doing a very good job of things for now. Another Disruptor shot fires, but doesn't really make it very far there. And that bio army going to come down, actually kills the Prism, which just lifted up the Disruptor. Cure is on, like I say, a bit of a killing spree right now. Is absolutely just monster moding his way through this. These Zealots continue to come through, attempting to chase and clean up and everything, but it's really just not going very well, to be quite honest with you. 10 probes dead, and Cure's supply just seems to be getting further and further into his favor, so looking very good. Still just continue through. See a few Stalkers making their way forward, looking to try and make something happen here. Just going to try and get a bit more damage dealt. Whatever possible. Here comes out of this up 40 supply, up 11 workers. His army supply in great place, and again, just really able to take some good trades. Disruptors never really did a lot from herO. Never was really able to jump either with the kind of initial part of this too. So just a solid setup across the board, I would say. So we're seeing a few force fields coming down. Widow Mines will connect on just a couple of units there. I mean, hero's really doing everything he can just to not give this up, right? He is doing everything possible to keep himself alive and kicking as best as possible, but it's not exactly going great. Like I say, it's just, you know, at this point you're just kind of warping in more low HP units as well, so that really isn't going very well for you. I mean, it's just going to be kind of, you know, Zealot Stalkers, low tech. Not really seeing anything super useful. Disruptor counts at 0. We're building 2 Immortals because apparently we just can't even build Disruptors right now. And I don't disagree. The reason is if you try and build Disruptors right now, what happens is the one Disruptor just gets dodged and killed off so easily. So something a bit more bulky like an Immortal that can actually survive a few shots and maybe see, you know, a little bit of extra kind of love and life in this game is maybe actually the better choice. Which is kind of wild, but like I say, here we are kind of in this situation, and not really a way out of it right now for herO. I just don't think you can do anything about this. Q's doing a great job of keeping this up. Now, there is a counterattack. We're getting quite a few of those, Zealots, SCVs killed with those Zealots. So we are making some progress. We are getting something done. So that's kind of cool. It's going to be seeing the rest of this bio moving its way across. Away we go. 5 SCVs did fall here. And we're going to try and take a forward position as herO, trying to hold a bit more further kind of out in the center. Let's say Kira just doing a good job of continuing to trade pretty well across the board. Not really letting this get out of hand or anything. And again, behind this, he's got 2 upgrades finishing up, so he's been continuing there as well and staying very happy with himself, keeping himself in a good position for the most part. That's going to be having this pushback continuing through a few more moments, and again, just a couple of Zealots and everything coming along. This one really does look as though we are just going to be having ourselves way too much. I mean, we're going to go kind of base trade it, which is probably one of the better ideas you could go for at this point, right? Can't really disagree with the concept of what we're doing here. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's just never really going to be enough, and you can just see Stalkers and Immortals will trade well, but herO just doesn't have a way to clean up the army back at home, and I think herO eventually will just hold on the high ground here as well. I think that's eventually just going to become the problem, actually, so expecting that to just become the issue sooner rather than later, perhaps. Stalkers with extra warpins going into this main base. I mean, to be fair, again, trying everything we can, but herO just have a lot of units on the defensive high ground now. That's obviously going to help quite a bit as well, and you can see that helping. herO's going to take game number 1, 14 minutes on Royal Blood. Pretty aggressive game, like I say. herO really found a bit of, you know, an advantage and was really able to just keep it from there, I would say, more than anything. He got himself into some good positions. He kept himself in those good positions. And herO goes up 1 against herO. It's underway. We have got in the top left-hand corner, unable to capitalize in the first game. Our pink Protoss player is herO. Up against, in the bottom right-hand side, the blue Terran player, Kira. Map number 2, and Kira will be the later maybe make things kind of interesting early, actually. I just wonder if he can do something himself to kind of just interrupt herO before herO gets sold, especially you up a game. He can be a little bit more kind of like, you know, let's go and stuff. So I feel a little bit of possibility there, I feel like. Similarly, going to be finishing up and just allowing the gas to be mined over on this side. Just able to get that started up as well. All up and away. Very exciting. It's just the barracks at home, gateway at home, no immediate proxy. Now, of course, we could still see something of a proxy, but yeah, nothing immediately like SA, so at least a little bit safe. Or perhaps asking for a longer game, which, to be fair, last game was pretty long. Last game a bit longer, but not really kind of too exhilarating, right? We kind of seemingly knew where that was going for the majority of it. We kind of had a pretty good idea that herO was kind of behind and that KR was pretty much in command of that game most of the way, right? I mean, herO did what he could towards the end as well, and I think that's obviously commendable too, but I mean, you're talking about a situation where you're hanging on in against someone who's basically killing your bases and killing all your eco. There's only so much you can do in that scenario, and herO just didn't have the tools he needed to really step back in, so again was in trouble throughout. Factory on the way up after expansion from KR, and just waiting for the tech choice any moment from herO. He is going to go Wolfgate first. Perhaps just a Twilight Council here to start things out. Open up with that blink once again. Safe, standard, generally puts you into a pretty good position if you can just get that blink up, so not really an immediate need to go too far, away from that kind of concept a lot of the time. Stargate is on the way up still as well, so just continue to bring that into play. And it's going to be coming through, so it's not going to be the Twilight Council. I thought it was. I will admit, I had the Twilight on my mind again, but honestly, I guess a bit of a tougher map to get aggression with the Stargate. Not that it was really that aggressive with the Stargate last time. You don't have to be with the Twilight Council last time, because you can obviously, you've got the ramp on this natural, you've got to jump into the main, and that's just more difficult to really execute. So yeah, maybe not easy enough to really do anything there, and that's why we'll see herO just kind of steering away from it, choosing Stargate instead. Obviously just preferring that just a little bit. Here in these early stages, going to see a couple Stalkers, going to ping away. And we got our Phoenix on the way out. I wonder if we're going to go quite heavy on the Phoenix here, just from the very start, and really get that used as a bit of a setup. We already got 2, we're going to 3. Obviously, we're keeping these in base as well. Now, KR does have a mine drop moving. This has been very good, typically, for herO. This should be best case scenario for him, I want to say. The reason being, obviously, you're playing, Phoenix at home. That should just be able to pick up the mines, pick off the medevac, and that shouldn't be any damage taken. And obviously, as KR, you just don't see this for such a long time. There's not really anything you can do about it initially, so... And we've seen this mine drop does try and sneak around. I mean, still a possibility that you catch herO not paying attention, off guard, right? So, it's still got some potential as well. Don't get me wrong, this is not a guaranteed denial, but as we come in, obviously herO was paying attention. The Phoenix do lift. This does not become an issue in any way, shape, or form. It's going to be seeing our starport. Gets that Raven out again early here, so kind of what we've been seeing in the past again. And yeah, I mean, again, it's just so easy to build the Raven nowadays. It's just cheaper. It's just more accessible than it's been in the past. A lot of the time I feel like you're just asking, why the hell not build a Raven, right? Now, the Phoenix do come across the map and get 6 SCVs. This could be why you don't build the Raven, because the Phoenix could just go and grab the Raven. It's playing around the... I get it, right? You're playing around the this area and stuff, but I don't know. I feel like that could have been a little bit more I feel like you could have gone it. You know, you're playing with the Marines defensively, but I feel like that was a grab waiting to happen. So kind of shocked that it doesn't. It's gonna be continuing along then. A few more SCVs going down. I mean, this is actually quite painful for Q. The more of these SCVs you lose, the worse the time you're going to have overall. And this one we've definitely lost a lot at this stage, right? Yeah, quite a bit of damage being dealt. Now we do have a few extra gateways coming through. And herO getting his prism set up as well, so it really is looking as though in the next couple of moments we'll have a pretty aggressive move from herO. Getting set and trying to make something happen. So that preparation being made. No, Marines and Raven gonna stick tightly together. Try and stay held up. Try and prepare. Well, again, I mean, potentially even more onslaught from these from these freaking Phoenix. These Phoenix have been absolute bullies so far, I'll tell you that much. They really have been as well. Like, they've just been kind of imposing themselves on this game. Really kind of forcing there to be no real way around this or anything. He's going to get hit by a few missile turrets that are coming. Going to lift up some mines. Again, all very good damage at the end of the day. Just going to be seeing SCVs being healed up a little, but I mean, that's kind of funny. The medevac's doing what they can just to try and help, but it's not exactly ideal. We're losing 13 workers across the map. The push from KR does do well, right? I mean, we're going to jump on herO's army pretty quickly. herO actually, okay. I was really loving this game for all the Phoenix damage, but all of a sudden, herO doesn't have an army to defend at home at all. And herO's entire force is just going to start dropping down. Bio army in the main is going to hold on now as well. herO cleaned up there. Did he lose every Phoenix as well? Oh my god, he lost every Phoenix. I kind of liked what the Phoenix were doing, but obviously just giving up a bit too much and not having enough back at home. GG's herO, wow. Let's take a quick rewind. He just has so much investment back on the other side. I mean, look at this, by the way, guys. The opening of this game is so good for you as herO. Up until when does he lose his first unit? Like, right now, losing an Observer. Okay, this in theory should be a great game for herO. Now, okay, it's 44 to 63 workers, but all herO needs is, A, this battery, I think, is way too exposed, way too far forward. And he's going to warp in a lot of units on the offense here and lose his Phoenix in the process. And while this is happening, then this main army of KR, yeah, I mean, you're killing SCVs, but you've got to be able to defend this. And especially with the battery being so far forward, the Immortal gets caught between bases. It's a really horrible start of the fight. And the Super Battery does, well, gets a quarter of its healing off. Just really, herO overcommitting on one side and maybe even underestimating his opponent's push that was coming, that he knew was coming as well. That's why he was trying to take a bit of a fight a little bit. Wow. GG's, that's going to be it. And KR takes a 2-0 over herO. Just like that.